So I'm listening to Romney's anti-Trump speech. I know this is a few days old. It popped up in my YouTube queue, and 10 minutes into it, wasn't really even paying attention to it. He starts dropping some jewels about Hillary Clinton, and love him or hate him, Romney's a pretty moderate Republican. Okay, in today's standards, compared to Trump and Cruz and a lot of these other nutbags, he's fairly moderate. Obamacare is based highly on Romney Care, which is a health care program that he pushed in his state. But regardless, I'm not a Romney supporter by any means, but I think in today's political climate, he is a moderate Republican. And I want you to listen to the jewels that he's dropping about Hillary Clinton, because a lot of other political candidates, especially not even Bernie Sanders, who's running directly against Hillary Clinton, has talked about a lot of this stuff. So I want you to listen.
But polls are also saying that he will lose to Hillary Clinton. Think about that. On Hillary Clinton's watch, the State Department, when she was guiding it and part of the Obama administration, that State Department watched as America's interests were diminished in every corner of the world. She compromised our national secrets. She dissembled to the families of the slain. And she jettisoned her most profound beliefs to gain presidential power. For the last 3 decades, the Clintons have lived at the intersection of money and politics, trading their political influence to enrich their personal finances. They embody the term crony capitalism.
They embody the term crony capitalism. And I'm a hardcore Bernie supporter. If you look into Hillary Clinton's record, this man is speaking a truth that is not heard on CNN, except for this speech, is not heard on by any of the anchors on CNN, MSNBC, or any other mainstream media for that matter. She literally has taken millions and millions and millions of dollars from foreign governments during her time as Secretary of State. And it's just a coincidence that all those foreign governments who made $10 million donation, $20 million donation, all of these foreign governments received military support. So guns, ammunition, bombs, support, military support. So that, this is bribery. This is crony capitalism. This is selling your political power. But go ahead, let's keep listening.
It disgusts the American people and causes them to lose faith in our political process. A person so untrustworthy and dishonest as Hillary Clinton must not become president.
And it's a simple statement. Someone as corrupt as this woman, we have the internet. We're not locked down by mainstream media anymore. You have a computer in your pocket, a supercomputer with high-speed internet access, with access to all these facts. Please, I want a woman president too. But this is not the one. This is the woman president that makes us never want to have a woman president ever again. Okay, this is the type of woman president that makes people vote for Trump. Please, this woman is crooked. I'm not saying that anyone on the Republican side is less crooked, but here's the one thing that I'll say about the Republicans. I know if I'm voting for a Republican, I'm voting against my best interests. I know that. Um, you know, Republicans are against women's rights. They're borderline against civil rights, as we're seeing with Trump. Well, we know these things. They're for less taxes on the rich. They're not. They're supposedly pro jobs, but we know they're pro business and they're not really pro lower middle class. We know this. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, she claims to support the black vote, but when you look at issues, she claims that she's for the lower middle class. She claims she's for kids and women, but then when you look at her issues, when you listen to her speak, when she says that she supports fracking, which damages our water supply. There's people with brown water in cities all across the country due to fracking, due to them drilling for oil in America in a way that's irresponsible. There's she flip flopped on the last debate on Fox on the town hall. She flip flopped on being pro-choice. She was saying that a woman's right to choose, depending on the situation, she would be up for a debate about it. And when you go to Bernie Sanders, he gives you a very simple answer. No, I'm pro-choice. No, sorry, Fox News. I know you're gonna disagree with me. I'm not pro-choice. She flip flops on every single issue. This woman stood up in Flint, Michigan, and admitted to being pro-fracking. She gives you a lot of lip service, and she says, "Oh, we want to prove it's safe and it's going to create all these jobs." Listen, our environment is in a lot of trouble. Even if we elect Bernie Sanders, there's still a Congress and a Senate and governors and mayors all across this country that all have to get on board, and there's businesses that would have to get on board to fix this climate. But when you have someone who's trying to be the leader of this free world and they're pro-business, Hillary's a Republican. When the Clintons first got elected, they got elected as being moderates, as being very close to being Republicans, but still, running on a Democratic ticket. So again, use the power that you have to look into these facts.
Of course, a Trump nomination enables her victory. And the audio and video of the infamous Tapper-Trump exchange on the Ku Klux Klan will play 100,000 times on cable and who knows how many million times on social media.
All right, so let me say another thing that my friend, and I say that jokingly, Mitt Romney is not admitting here. Bernie Sanders has a way bigger lead on a head-to-head matchup against Trump than Hillary does. Mainstream media barely will let you know that, but they have released polls. If you go on the internet and you'll see a poll from Fox, you'll see a poll from CNN where they do head-to-head matchups, and on every poll, I don't think I've seen one poll where Hillary versus Trump is better off than Sanders versus Trump. Independents, some of them are swinging towards Trump and some of them are swinging towards Bernie. And in this election, especially when we have, I think, over a third of the population right now that identifies as independent, that's a big chunk. That we're getting to a point where people are so disenfranchised with the two-party system that independents, like I said, are making up a third, and independents are going to be the crowd to please. Jim Webb, who was in one of the first Democratic debates, he went and said, "I'll vote for Bernie, but if Bernie doesn't get elected, then I'm voting for Trump." I don't share that belief. Me personally, I'm a hippie. I'll probably write Bernie's name in, even if he didn't get the nomination. But at the end of the day, you have to realize that if you do the research and you look at the facts, Hillary versus Trump, first of all, you fucked either way. You're screwed either way. These are two very bad choices. These are two people that you do not want as president. But even worse than that, you're risking a Trump presidency more than a Bernie versus Trump. Because a lot of those disenfranchised Bernie supporters, I hate to say it, they're going to go to Trump. Because Trump's not a politician. Bernie is a politician, but he's a politician with a 40-year-old record of being an independent, okay, of making up his own mind. There's not many successful politicians in this country with 40-year records of being an independent and getting reelected time after time after time, decade after decade, of having your constituency, your voters, the people that represent you, being happy and wanting to reelect you for decades. So, again, look into the facts. When Mitt Romney is able to point out the corruption in the Democratic Party, and particularly in the this Clinton dynasty, that it's been decades of deceit, decades of corruption, hundreds of millions of dollars made from selling out the American people. I say it's time as Democrats and just as Americans to look into our history and think twice before electing a candidate, because we know their last name. So that's it. Signing out.